from that's okay, Orly. Unexpected and precise as always, right? My name is Tony Hernandez. I am a master facilitator coming to you all the way from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Again, for those of you who are new to this space, for the next 60 minutes, we'll be together just in an informal way and sharing with you some of our tricks of the trade, if you will, as we grow in our practice and then invite people into this amazing way of living and way of life. Again, for the next 60 minutes, we'll be together. And so our hope is that you are in a comfortable location with the least amount of interruption as possible. But as you may know, in the world of points of view, one of our mantras is unexpected and precise. And so whatever unfolds for the next 60 minutes is the only thing that could have happened. I'm happy to see all of you here today. Just a quick reminder as well that today's session is being recorded. So if you want to go back to listen again and continue to practice what we learned today, that's one way to continue improving your skills. And also, if anyone who wasn't able to attend today, they'll be able to see the video. And then, Orly, where will the video be placed again?
Yes, hi everyone, nice that you joined. We created the space, it's called the video library on the tribe, so you can find there all the recording of those tribe talks. This is, I believe, our first one. So, and we are very happy to host Tony. And this is a great opportunity for our skilled masters to bring their world into this space, like to find the connection that they do with points of view and their world of interest. So it's a beautiful opportunity to experience something that it's not the points of view by the book. And
right.
So enjoy and have fun.
Thanks, Orly. So today is touching on the theme of presence. And you're probably wondering, well, what are we all going to do here? So I just want to share with you a little bit about why this is very important to me as a master facilitator. When I first experienced points of view, I was in a very, very, I'll say, huge turmoil in my life. I was recently let go from the private school that I was working at the time. I had been a teacher for over 23 years and sort of had this like a bit of an identity crisis. And again, things happen as they do for I'm going to say divine reasons. I was introduced to points of view during an institute that I attended and was instantly hooked. And the reason that happened was how I felt in the moment. And I was so captivated by the way here were these 30 strangers together and the facilitator inviting us to use the photos to first tap into our story of how we arrived into this space with one another. And then again, I just was so caught by how she made us come into presence, really like be in the moment. And since then, I've been on this journey. And so as I started the trainings to become a master facilitator, I knew for myself that one of the things I needed to do was if I'm going to invest in this, embody it, I needed to develop a daily or regular practice and be intimate with these tools and way of life. It really is a way of life. And that's I'm just going to own it, that's my opinion, my perspective. But all of you are here in some way or facet that's similar, that you experience something and you want to continue growing and developing. And first and foremost, this thing, your body, your mind, your heart, this is the thing that you want to continue to cultivate. And so what I want to share with all of you today is a mindfulness practice that I have been using now for a little over a year that helps me stay present and notice the types of sensations, feelings, running thoughts, awareness, because you have to really be attuned, right, to what's happening inside of you so that as you develop, I'm going to call it like your orb or your sphere, you're able then to expand that out to the people that you invite to experience this with you as well. And you can only do that when you really are, I'm going to say sharp, right? And can expand your container to allow others to come in. So in this practice, in Spanish, we call it el paseo or the stroll. And so I'm going to guide you in this stroll, and we'll be doing it 2 times. That way, first time will just be the, the initial messy or clunky practice, all right? And then the second time, we'll add 1 new element, but then you'll have another opportunity to have it come into your body a little bit deeper. Let's see what else. I think that's it for now. As we always do in our space as points of view practitioners, we always begin our time together in the practice of pause. And pause is an opportunity for us to transition away from, I'm going to call it the hamster wheel of life, and just to take this first time to settle in with one another. And so I invite you to just ground yourself in your seat. And if you need to kind of shift your sit bones a bit in your chair or the floor, I invite you to do that now. And stack your spine so it's sitting comfortably within your hip bones. And take 1 nice deep breath in. Slowly exhale and allow your shoulders to slowly drop. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. And during this moment of pause, again, just an opportunity to embrace this moment, taking and receiving some new little piece of knowledge that'll help you for the rest of the day. And Orly, when you're ready, you can invite us into our practice of pause. Mm. So when you're ready, you can slowly bring your attention back into our Zoom space. Mm. So thank you for allowing us to give you that moment of pause together. We're going to continue today in deepening our presence and practice with one another. So again, today is an opportunity for all of you as facilitators or people who host gatherings with people in giving them the opportunity to sort of restore their sense of thriving. It's always important that as the host or facilitator, that you're always, tuned and sharp. And so this presencing practice, really, I'm inviting you to add it to your own sort of personal practice. And like I said before, we'll do it 2 times. At the end of our practice, we'll have an opportunity for any Q&A or things that surfaced for you that you want to unpack together as a group. And then after that, we'll close and inviting you to take a next step. And then hopefully we'll see each other again in another points talk. So again, in this particular meditation practice, I call it el paseo or the stroll. And as you know, with any meditation practice, the very first foundational practice is your breath. And so I'll be guiding you shortly in a breath practice first. And again, some of you may already be familiar with this particular practice. For some of you, it may be new. But again, as you continue in this, I know for myself, as I delve into meditation, every teacher or practitioner that I have met so far always encourage you to go to the foundational practice of breath. It is the thing that sort of helps us kind of embody and give nourishment to our bodies. And so we'll do a 4 count. It's called box breathing. So it'll be an inhale for a count of 4, then a hold for a count of 4, and then an exhale for a count of 4. So it's 4, 4, 4. So again, if you've shifted in your position, I invite you to just kind of ground yourself, make sure that you're sitting nice and tall. And then with your hands, you can put them palm down in your lap, or you can place them palm up. And also ground your feet. Just place a little bit of pressure so that your feet are firmly pushing down on the ground. And just begin to notice an awareness of your body. All right. And we'll take first a nice deep inhalation in and hold and exhale out. And so I will count, I'll guide you through, but as you feel familiar with it, then you can begin the rhythm on your own, the pattern on your own. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. And again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Continue that rhythm for 2 more rounds. And then when you feel complete, you can bring your awareness back into our Zoom space. All right. So now just continue regular pattern breathing that's comfortable for you. And when we move into our el paseo or our stroll, I will guide you in shifting your attention or your presence through our 5 senses. And so I invite you to continue using the box breathing if that was comfortable for you, or your regular breath. We'll go through 5 rounds of el paseo, and then at the end, we'll check in with one another and what you noticed before our next practice. All right. So again, just take a nice deep inhale in. Slowly exhale out. And then this first stroll, I invite you to open your eyes and just find a focal point in your room, wherever you're located right now. And in this first stroll, what you're going to do while your vision is fixed, you're going to notice 5 things that you see in your environment. Again, staying firm and stacked. You can allow your eyes to gaze around, but just make note of 5 things that you see during this first paseo. And if you wander, always connect back with your breath. And now come back to your focal point. We'll do 2 rounds of 4 count breathing. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Last round, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. And our first stroll is complete. In this second stroll, I invite you now to close your eyes, or again, just soften your gaze. And in this round, we will move into our sense of feel and touch. And in this round, just notice 4 things that you feel. You can begin with noticing your fabric touching your skin. Now we'll move into our third stroll. Our next paseo will be with our sense of hearing. So in this round, you have an opportunity to focus and listen for 3 different sounds around your environment. And now with our next stroll, we invite you to focus in on your sense of taste. So just bring your awareness to your mouth and your tongue. And notice 2 lingering tastes that you may have. And now our final stroll in this practice. Hone in on your sense of smell. And I invite you now to focus and find one odor, one sense of smell that's around your environment. And when you feel complete, you can open your eyes and bring your attention back into the Zoom room. And Orly, when you're ready, if you could change the screen to gallery so I can see everybody's juicy faces. And just real quick, how was that first practice for you? What did you notice? What stood out for you? Who would like to share? Yes, is it?
Hi, Shira.
Shira, nice to meet you, Shira.
Hi, Tony. Good morning.
Good morning.
I noticed that when I did the vision, looking at the 5 things in the room, that like first I just found right away 5 things, but when I realized we're staying there longer, all of a sudden I realized how many more things I noticed about the details of the 5 things that my eye hadn't picked up the first time. And it was very like, oh yeah, how many things that we think we're seeing every day, but there are really a lot of details on the thing that we're seeing that we miss. And it was just it was a very clear opening for me.
Right. Thank you, Shira. Who else?
Hi, this is
Hi.
Felicia.
Hi, Felicia.
It's good evening for me.
Good evening, Felicia.
So it's a very, very peaceful practice, and I really feel quite at ease. And also, it's very gentle, especially when it comes to the sense of touch. I feel like how my hair is actually touching my skin, and how my skin is touching, like my hand is touching my legs. And then usually I just realized I ignore how, the different parts of myself is connecting to each other. So that really feels good.
Great. Thanks, Felicia. One more person to share any thoughts, insights in that first practice.
I'll go. Hi.
Hi. Share your name and where you're from with us, please.
Yes, I'm Kike. I'm from Spain. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Right.
It was really nice, this practice, to be aware about our senses. And it was really, really calm, but also feeling things that we are not used to feel or sense because we are not aware about. And one of the senses that it was really hard for me was the smell. When brings anything in the practice.
Right.
The other ones was really, really nice. So, and I like the paseo.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. You're welcome. So again, just now you've heard from our 3 attendees so far, and even in your own notice, that was just the first time around. Okay. So this is something now you have in your toolkit, if you will, that as you continue to develop the way you want to hold space for yourself and then be able to do that for others. Now you have this simple practice that you can use. And you can also rearrange the order of inviting your senses in, that you can decide to do. So you don't always have to start with 5 things you see. You could invite 5 things you smell next time around, however you decide to do that. Especially what we're going to do now is we'll do that practice again, but this time with one of the elements of any of the tools, if you have them. So whatever tool that you have by you, and if you don't, then you can, I'm going to invite you to grab your handy phone, if you will. And so as you know, in the practice of points of view, we use photos and imagery to use as an entry point or an opening into deepening our awareness, deepening our understanding of ourselves and others. And so early on, as a beginning facilitator, I devoted a lot of time to, again, stay in companionship with the tools. And so I started with the coaching game deck first, since it's the I'll say the most, like it's the original tool, if you will. But with this particular meditation practice, what I did was for me to again develop a relationship with the photos from the coaching game. Each morning, I would do this meditation practice and then pick a photo and go through El Paseo with just one photo each day. That way, I gained an intimate relationship with the deck and how I was responding to it, so that when I invite others into either a one-on-one coaching practice, or if I'm doing a zoom in with a group, zooming in, then I am aware that there will be a whole, I'm going to say, a whole range of reactions and behaviors that may happen amongst the people, but I've already experienced them myself, right? So that's a way that you, as a growing and developing practitioner, is a way for you to become more intimate with the tools yourself. So that's what we're going to do now. If you don't have the coaching game, then what I'm going to invite you to do is to flip through your photo gallery in your phone. And today is the 28th day. Well, do it this way. It's the 7th month of the year. So in your photo gallery, pull up the 7th photo off your phone. And if the 7th item happens to be a video, that's okay. So pull up the 7th item in your photo gallery for the rest of you who has either the coaching game or Punctum deck. I invite you to now just shuffle your deck and then randomly pick one photo. And when you're ready, you can flip it over and then just place it nearby, either on top of your laptop or your tabletop. And now this is our anchor, if you will, in practicing our second sail. When everyone's ready, just give me a thumbs up or a little reaction emoticon. Great, 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 great. Felicia, are you good to go? Are you ready? Great. All right. So I invite you now, we'll practice in the same order that we did. So go ahead and ground your body. Make sure that you're sitting nice and tall. And just focus your attention to the photo in front of you. And if it's helpful to cover up the word, if you're using the coaching game deck, you can do that. I'm going to adjust my space here too. There we go. And so as you look at this photo, again, first round, what are 5 things you see in that photo that you're connecting with in this moment? And remember, if you get distracted, just always return back to your breath and return back to the photo in this second practice. And now we move into our second stroll. When you look at this photo, what sounds, if you were where this photo was being captured, what are 4 sounds you might hear or connect with in this moment? Now, as you imagine yourself in the place that this photo was being taken, what are 3 feelings that surface for you? What sensations or feelings might come up for you? And next, as you continue to delve into this photo, what are 2 tastes that might come up for you, depending on how this photo is connecting with you right now? And finally, last paseo, what smell arrives from this particular photo for you? And when you feel complete, you can bring your attention back into the room. All right. So in this second round, we had an opportunity to include either an image from your photo gallery or one of the photos from the coaching game deck or whichever deck that you used. But I'm curious to know now, what did you notice in adding the element of a photo in that particular presencing practice? Who would like to share?
Hello, I can share.
Hello, Anna, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Well, what I noticed is I expanded a lot more now, because in the first paseo, I was just conforming or trying to identify something that was kind of real. Now I felt that I was being more creative, expanding more with that, especially because I had a challenging card.
Do you care to share the photo?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
This one. So it was really a challenge to try to connect and to imagine sounds here and special smells, because I imagined this in a big highway with a lot of cars, and with that it was quite challenging, but in a creative way to do it. So for me, it was really more a big expansion comparatively to the first practice.
Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Who else? Shira, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You're on mute. You're on mute if you want.
Okay. It brought a lot more emotion into the meditation, because it brings up so many memories and so many presential experiences that I've had in my life. So it was very interesting how it moved me through not just the awareness and the creativity and the imagination, like Anna said, but also actual emotional presential experiences I've had. I got this one, Love in Action.
Okay.
And I happen to love baking and cooking with my kids and grandkids. And so it just brought me through like 30 years of mothering and grandmothering and everything. And it was very cool. I enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you, Shira. And one more person, please.
Oh, again.
Okay, Kike, go ahead.
Okay, my car was this one. Yeah. So it was also very nice, because it was like going into the photograph and going to my childhood and experience a lot of things in all the senses, the hearing, and also feeling the emotion that the kid is feeling. And I was trying to connect with him, and it was really nice in a way that I was like in that picture, him, and connected, and also all the surrounding things in that photo. It was so amazing, the feeling and how, and when I came back to the reality right now, it's like, wow, I feel so cool.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Kike.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're welcome. So again, this was just a couple minutes, right, in this practice. And so just imagine as you invite doing this regularly, that expansion, that deepening that you've all felt, that was just you by yourself. That was just you by yourself. And so, and knowing how you feel in that, I like to call that vibration, you know, the vibration that you've created, you know how that feels for yourself. And if that's something you want to continue to cultivate, this is something that you can do as a personal practice. And the more expansive that you are, the easier it is. I shouldn't say it that way. You're able to then hold whatever other vibrations that come into your sphere, because people are going to be at different moments or emotions, just like all of you. But the more that you are honed in to that sort of expansion, you're able to hold that for others as well. Anna, I see that your hand is raised.
May I ask a question?
Yes, please. Yep, right on time. This is our Q&A time. Yep.
Because in this second, I felt more in the future and less in the present. So, and is it normal, or is like the feeling that I was not totally mindful, or I was not working my presence in the now, because I had the feeling that I was more in the future.
Okay, so tell us more a little bit about how that happened for you.
Because of the creativity part that I mentioned before, I felt like I was creating a story for this card. And this is my natural tendency, that I tend to think more in the future and less in the past. And that's the challenge for me in terms of working in my presence, to be right here. So if I ask myself which of the two exercises worked more in my presence in now, was the first one.
Right.
And
yes, yeah. And see, so because you know, I'm going to say the essence of Anna, if you continue using this practice, you're going to do it the way we did it the first time around, just so that you continuing to develop, staying in the present moment. It's not bad that you wafted or traveled towards the future. It's just bringing yourself back. And so always you can, when you notice that you've moved forward in time, then just notice bringing yourself back to the present moment. And that can be stopping and reconnecting with your breath. It happens to me too. And it's acknowledging, oh, wait a minute, you know, wow, that was really cool that I did. What's it bringing up right now for me? And that brings you back. That'll bring you back. So I say that so not to get too caught up in, oh my goodness, that's, our brain, always, is always in that. So when you notice it, just bring it back.
Okay. And maybe now that I'm hearing you, working also in the breath, because the most difficult part for me is to hold the breath, the second four.
Yep.
So maybe if I focus myself working on that, it will help me also to come back. Okay, thank you.
And an adjustment with the breath is start off with just a 2 count. Breathe in for 2, hold for 2, exhale for 2. And then as you feel that you're present, then expand to 3 count. And then expand to 4 count.
Okay. Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Shira has her hand up.
Sorry, Tony, I just wanted to ask you about the breathing. Doesn't it usually in box breathing, isn't there a second hold? It's like in for 4, out for 4.
Yes, there is a second hold.
Because you kept dropping and I'm thinking, is it triangle or it's a square? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a little oops on my part. Yep, but there is a second hold. See, unexpected and precise. But you are correct, Shira. Yep, there is a second hold.
But it's good. Sometimes you start with as a beginner with this, and then you add the extra hold.
Yes.
Because it's tough.
It is, yeah. It is.
It's challenging to stay on the second hold.
It is more challenging, and that's why I was wondering whether he left it off deliberately or whether. Yeah.
I just completely forgot. Any other questions?
So for those who are watching this recording,
yep,
practice with the second hold.
That's right. That's right.
I want to add something that
yes, Orly.
Yeah, for me, I was using the flow cards, which are I'm not so. It's a new deck that it's this invitation to observe and deepen the observation. I really found out new details, and that made me, if I connect to what Anna said, okay, I jumped into a story or kind of imagining, but the observing those details made me understand something about the present. So this is the connection. Okay, you can go with the observation, with the smells, with the feeling, with everything, but it's still something comes up that connect to your presence. So this was for me. So thank you, and it's a great way to explore new tools that we have. So like you suggested at the beginning. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, Orly. Any other questions, observations from the group?
Yes, Tony.
Hi. Hi, Corinne.
Hi. I picked also a flow card, and I've got transparency. And you know, the card is very strange because it's the frame of a window on the body, and especially the face of someone. So at first, okay, it was strange to me to connect the senses. And then what appeared very quickly, it's about the smell, and I really smell the seaside. You know, there is a special smell, odor when you are on the beach.
Right.
I'm living in France, for example. The seasides we have are different. If you are in the south or if you are in the west, on the west coast, it's very heavy smell. And it came to me because it's where I've spent 3 days. So and this was particular. Thanks a lot. It's very interesting.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Corinne. You're welcome.
You know, Corinne, I think one of the things that's so amazing, like what you were just saying, is that it's fascinating how you could take a card, which is a place that you've never been to, you've never seen, and how we're able just to transpose who we are and our life into that space, and we behave and we think and we do as we are. So it's fascinating because we were never actually there, and we never, but like then we find ourselves moving in our minds in the way we would have reacted in this new space. So it really does give us so much insight into who we are and how we see and we smell and we focus and we move, and the memories that we have. We're just it's so easy for us to impose ourselves on any random space or photo or time because we really are who we are.
That's right.
It's like a very big thought.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, for those of you who did use photos from any of the decks, if you wouldn't mind holding them up so we could all just take a little quick gallery view of the photos. There's mine. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right. So as we come to a close, this is our final practice, and I hope everyone can participate. Those of you who aren't on the screen at the moment, if you can share your response in the chat, we welcome that. But as we bring this point talks to a close, just one word or phrase that you're keeping from today's practice. One word or phrase that you're keeping. What is it that you're keeping from today's practice?
I'll go first.
Hi, Lillian.
Slow down.
Ah, that's a biggie. Thanks, Lillian. Corrine shared full presence in the chat.
For me, it's awareness.
Okay. Thank you. Anna said, let's practice. Share a shared consciousness.
For me, it's honor the process.
Thank you. Thank you, Igno. He shared quiet. He or she, I'm sorry. They.
For me,
Felicia, yeah.
For me, it's like intimacy with the cards.
Yeah, intimacy. That's a good one, Orly. Felicia shared beauty and details. Wonderful. Wonderful. So the invitation, as you know, in the points of view practice, we always move through pause, expand focus, and now to do, to act, to step into something. And so the invitation is, do this again, in your own way, now that you have this mindfulness practice. And then, share your new insights or learning in the tribe, where you can continue sharing with one another and growing. As we shared before, this recording will be in the video library, so you can always go back and revisit again as you build this or any other additional ways to hold and expand your own, wide range of feelings and emotions as you presence. And I look forward to reading and hearing what you say. Also, that's an opportunity if you have other questions that come after, because I know for myself, it's always like, after I do something that like, oh, wait a minute, I should have asked this, I should have asked that. Go into, our tribe platform and you can share your questions there with me, and I'd be happy to answer. That's all that I needed to share. I'm going to pass it over back to Orly. Orly?
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed it a lot, and it's amazing how every time you can discover and deepen your observation. So thank you all for joining this tribe talk. Hope to see you more on our online sessions, and be active at the tribe, and see you there.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Bye.
Uh-huh.
Bye.